Sudan is bleeding. Not from a natural disaster, not from a civil war alone, but from a war of profit, waged in the shadows and funded by the powerful. As homes burn and families flee, the world remains silent, but silence in the face of horror is complicity. Behind every bullet that tears through a Sudanese child's body, behind every woman raped as a weapon of war, behind every family starving under siege, there are fingerprints, and many of them lead to Abu Dhabi. In April 2025, a leaked United Nations report lifted the veil on what many Sudanese already knew. The United Arab Emirates, a country of gleaming skyscrapers and billion-dollar yachts, is quietly fueling one of the deadliest humanitarian disasters of our time. UN experts traced 40 covert cargo flights, military-grade aircraft, flying from UAE air bases to remote runways in Chad, near the Sudanese border. No flight plans, no cargo logs, transponders turned off mid-air. The timing? Alarming. Many of the flights took place just before RSF offensives, attacks that wiped out entire towns in Darfur and central Sudan. This was no coincidence, this was complicity. What was inside those planes? Weapons, ammunition, radios, fuel, possibly drones, all destined for the Rapid Support Forces, or RSF, Sudan's most feared militia. A group born from the Janjaweed death squads, now rebranded and rearmed. The same RSF that butchered civilians in El Ganina, gunning down children as they clung to their mothers. The same force that has turned rape into a battlefield tactic, using women's bodies as weapons of war. Captured fighters told investigators, "We got our guns from Chad, from the UAE, from above." The UAE supplied the tools, the RSF delivered the terror. And Sudanese civilians paid the price, with their homes, their dignity, their lives. But the horror doesn't stop with bullets. In RSF-controlled regions, food is blocked, aid is stolen, crops are burned. This is starvation as a strategy, a deliberate campaign to break people without firing a shot. In Al Jazeera and Darfur, humanitarian groups report famine-like conditions, children too weak to cry, mothers too malnourished to nurse, men forced to choose between joining militias or watching their families die. This isn't collateral damage, it's a war crime, and the logistics, supplies, and money led back again to the UAE. And where is the international community? In London just this week, a high-level summit was held to address the crisis in Sudan. But among the guests of honor? The United Arab Emirates, Chad, the very nations accused of enabling the violence. No investigations, no sanctions, no demands for justice. Just handshakes, speeches, and silence. The United Kingdom, once a colonial power in Sudan, now hosts its destroyers with open arms. Why? Because the UAE is a business partner, a buyer of weapons, a holder of cash. The cost of conscience, it seems, is less than the price of oil and arms deals. But Sudan is not a faceless conflict. It is not just numbers and maps. It is Layla, a 9-year-old girl from Zalangay whose entire family was killed in an RSF raid. She hides in a refugee tent, haunted by gunfire, too scared to speak. It is Amin, a father who walked 200 miles with his daughter on his back, only to find the aid truck had been looted. It is entire communities erased, not just homes, but hopes, songs, traditions. And yet these stories rarely make it to your screens. Why? Because the world's biggest media outlets are silent. Governments are invested in silence, and truth is inconvenient. That's why the right narrative exists. We tell the stories that others suppress. We speak the names the UN deletes from reports. We confront the powerful, not protect them. We don't just tell stories. We fight for justice through journalism. You don't have to be Sudanese to care. You don't have to be a politician to act. You can help right now. Share this video. Let the truth pierce the wall of silence. Follow and support the right narrative. Subscribe, comment, amplify our work. Expose the enablers. Speak the names of those arming genocide, the UAE, Chad, and their Western partners. Hold your government accountable. Demand sanctions. Demand justice. Every time you share a post, challenge a lie, or tell someone the truth, you are standing with Sudan. Because history won't just ask what the RSF did, it will ask who funded them, who invited them, and who stayed silent. Be the one who refused to look away. Be the one who told the right narrative. History will remember those who stood by and those who stood up. Sudan is crying out for justice. Don't be a spectator. Be a witness. Be a voice. Be the right narrative.